Hey, Aquarius. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, be sure you click that subscribe button and ring the bell. They'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy of the World, give us a big thumbs up, like, and share. And to all those lovely friends who've been giving donations, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are so greatly appreciated. Okay, so let's take a look into the energy now, Aquarius. You told on yourself with this one. You came in softly, all like, cheery and clear, like, hey, look at me, doing great, doing fine, got a lot of sunshine. And it was like, doom, doom, doom. It came down. I mean, no bad news. It's not anything like that, but it's definitely a self-check. This week seems to be a bit of energy recovery sessions going on through the zodiac. So if you have other placements that you find pretty strongly about that you associate with, check those out as well. So it's almost like we could say recovering energy, but I feel a bit like a switchboard operator. A lot of times we might have our energy, but it's put in the wrong places. Like, if you see those old-timey movies where the lady's got the headphone or the microphone and she's moving cords to connect conversations, to connect information, that type of thing. So you're letting me know you've been going through a process, and this is a process about the idea of love. And you kept thinking it was about a person, and so putting it off as I'm here for bigger and better things. I'm here to help the world advance, high and noble, that type of thing, which is very important. But life has finally come out full stop, like, hey, we're putting brakes on that mentality about spirituality, is that it's devoid of meaning, it's devoid of life, it's full of purpose. If it's full of purpose, then how do we get the next generation? I mean, we got to have some passion up in here. We got to have some, they're using too many words at one time. They're going so fast. Okay, slow down. Let's step into this gently. But it's spanning from March, May, and November. But it's showing the evolution, the development of being able to realize that you are made for love, that maybe there is a little bit more. And you've kind of been staying here, present like this is what everybody else still sees as the same you. But you've been having this side conversation with yourself, like this quiet little thing that you think no one else is picking up on, no one else really knows about. And it's just you exploring. Sorry, I've got one of these tickly hairs dangling on me. Exploring new ideas and inspiration about how life could be and maybe should be, but you weren't too sure about it. So brilliantly, you were giving it time, right? Giving it time to kind of play out instead of forcing the issue with yourself. But what you're showing me here is you've been almost so stoic and relegated to the way things have been that you're seeing, is this worthy of adding into it? And it's telling me, no, it's a whole new game. It's not like, deciding, is this worthy of riding in my car? They're saying, we're getting you a whole new car. That's what's going on. It's a game changer. Life is taking a whole new turn, a whole new shift, and it's about shedding the old and letting those things go. It's not you, but making room for the new is what you're talking about here, okay? So we have, under the passage of time and things going from more than just an idea, here we have May and the last of the cherry blossoms and the flow beginning to come, that, okay, I think I'm kind of seeing how this could play in. I kind of see where this is going. But, we're shifting into that 200-year cycle of air at the end of 2020. So you kind of been feeling it out, but it's more than that. It's personal. It's for you. It's not just a scope and a lens into the world. They're saying, let this penetrate your own heart as well. They're like chimes, crystals, gongs, those penetrating type sounds that you're saying molecularly change the fiber of your being. All right. But by November, it's coming up, it's rising, it's on the horizon, and it's already being seen, being known, it's becoming manifest. And that is this. Number 20, apricot, rejoice and laugh. Being able to take life in a lighter tone, a lighter note, not so seriously. And that's the thing that was beautiful about you, is your seriousness, your commitment, your devotion. They're saying that stoic, that structure, that framework, but they're like, We moving you from a 4x4 to a convertible, and you're like, oh, well, how will I do this? How will I do that? How will I manage this? How will I do this work? How will I do that? And they're like, fun is the work. And you're like, I'm having fun, and how do I know? The cards are telling me, y'all. They're telling me. But they're wanting to address the need for your happiness and well-being. We have the Sun card coming in here, and this is like your navel. It's what you were born for. It's what you're made of. That it is, they're telling me, a more natural way to go about producing the result that you desire. I could say seek, but you don't really seek it. It's coming from within. It's that thing, that path that you've been pursuing. And they say this is the most natural way to do it. But because it's obvious that in this other form, I can't show you, it's Sexual Magic Tarot, but it's the Three of Cups. But this one has been showing that you're giving out too much energy in the past to others and not enough to yourself. And so you want the Mystical Magic Oracle to come in to show that reflection is spending some time with yourself for yourself. And not just self-pampering and self-care, but self-adoration, self-nourishment, those things that bring you to life. And they're showing the back of this card. Makes your key shine. Makes you shiny and bright. Bring us some of that heaven to earth for you. Some of that opalescence and that iridescence, that very high hearing. You're talking about your ears. It goes beyond, like, kind of like a dog whistle. It goes beyond human perception of what you've been hearing. Some of that God speak for yourself. Okay, I like that. I like that. But that has to do with your happiness and well-being. Is recovering some of that balance. Not necessarily going in the past to get it. They're just saying the honoring of the decision point now to recognize that you're rare. And just like the orchid here, that's where vanilla comes from. They just put out a couple of seed pods. And it's about that time to infuse it, that then it makes enough to share. Okay? And not let me do it so then I'll have enough to share and I can go out and do my work and do my service. They're like, whoa, wait, that's what we're talking about. Remember, rejoice and laugh. Enjoy for the sake of enjoyment. Have fun for the sake of fun, because that's part of the magic of this Aquarius energy that's coming in the new year, that 200-year cycle, is about things being easy and light, about that communication transference, about things flowing so quickly, effortlessly, and easily because there is no resistance there. They say lift your resistance, Aquarius. Okay, so this one has a singular crowning energy. On the next color card coming in is Money Path. A path with money is waiting for you to find it. And they're talking about a life that is rewarding. And it's rewarding in the sense that it is connected. It is like these passageways of time. So allowing things to grow. They're talking about interest. Allow your interest in yourself to grow. Okay, that makes perfect sense. The more interested you are in yourself, and not self by myself, and not self for the sake of work, but remember, for the simple matter of enjoyment, as you cultivate and craft this, it's going to cause it to come into a way and a path here on earth. So I had a friend. If you want to know about it, check out the Libra. I was baking bread for her, and she didn't know how to bake bread, so she was kind of using my skills and knowledge to taste the recipe that she was wanting to see. And so she's asking, well, how do you make yeast? How do they make yeast? I said, well, yeast comes from the air. So you make it from the air. I'm like, well, you make it from water and flour, and then the air just falls in there, and it becomes yeast. And so she's like, well, so then you have just yeast and you make more yeast from that. I said, no, then you have a culture and you can make more yeast from that, but you keep the culture going. And she asked about the yeast companies. I said, well, they have a different way of doing it. But here for you, it's like you being that culture. You're bringing in the new cultural climate of how we are, the ease, the effortlessness of the oneness, of enjoyment, of pleasure, of life here. And this isn't like, I don't know how to say it. It's not quite like hedonism, you know, where it's just that's pedal to the metal type of thing. It's conductivity. it's has that electricity, kind of like the rays of the sun going on here, even though we're not there yet. Radiance. Okay, thank you. And as you do, people watch you and watch you live, and you're radiating, and it's almost like this nuclear energy coming out through you, and through it, it shines on the world around you. And the photosynthesis begins to occur, and seeds sprout up, and life sprouts up, and it becomes this culture, this way of living. That through you living and enjoying, it changes the climate of our whole world. Talk about being a boss, Aquarius. That's fantastic. Because here at Tangerine, be spontaneous and have fun. It's a 1 and a 7. About your energy returning to yourself, living in your own energy, that radiance, and being true to it for the purity of its sake, the purity of its purpose, not taking just what it is and manufacturing it and putting it out devoid of its source. Remember, like the yeast manufacturers do, letting it be a culture, letting it be a part of its source and become a resource. So the spontaneity and having fun, because you're showing me that the dragon came in, beware of self-delusion. Because as much as you got really good at the old way of doing it, you were grown tired. And tired, like blasé in the mind, but also tired and weary of effort and energy in the heart. And the reason being is you're right in line with the calendar, with Saturn, with Jupiter, with where they're turning and they're moving and they're going. Connecting with the new energy that's already like phasing in as the other is phasing out, like shifting gears in a car. And that cute little convertible of yours, Aquarius. I can feel y'all shifting now, because talk about airy and light. Whoo! That is intense. Wow. You're talking about lucidity. And those lyrics, the silent lucidity. Wow. Well, that's your magic. So I can show you this one. The magician steps in. Wielding your sword and the power of your mind to get on board with this new energy coming in. Remember, putting down that resistance to it having been the way it was, which it's obvious through these time cards, that you've been working towards that. And they just say continue onward. And begin by letting that enjoyment, that flow, that radiance, that lucidity, that time with self, and that knowledge of knowing who you are and why you're here. You're here to enjoy life. You're here, they say, to be a living example, not with the big eye shining on you like, oh, what kind of example? I'm going to be stern and stoic, and here's the example that I'm going to decide and command and live out fully and completely. Like, no, a little bit more organic, a little bit more Hawaiian tropic type of flow energy going on, a little bit more expressive and juicy. Like, what I love is here you see the skin on the tangerine slices containing it, but especially as a kid and then sometimes as an adult, I peel that membrane off, because inside is a collective of these juicy bits, each a little delicious package of light and radiance and the taste of time, the passage of time. That's what's going to come in as Saturn returns to you. Ooh! I love that, Aquarius. And how about start there by getting you a tangerine, if you like them, and enjoying those juicy bits. Maybe peeling the membrane off of one of them to discover and uncover what it's like to see you and to be around it. All that vibrance and deliciousness and the like vitality, the awakening aroma of your presence filling a room. Very sunny and bright. So anyways, that is your magic. That is the plan, is what they're saying. That brings in this like reproductive power, because in here is Mars and Venus going on. So like your sexual power, your reproductive power, your prowess. And that doesn't mean like going out and hunting. That is more like you conjuring inside, that you're like, I don't have to go out and chase down what it is that I want. I decide what it is, and I allow that energy, like the caduceus, to move up my central pole, my spine, bypass my mind, meaning it just moves around your mind, just the caressing of the energy, and it goes up into the air. And then like a fountain, it returns to self. Remember this energy, okay? Like the water cycle, evaporation, precipitation, condensation, like that. and getting a strong sense of self, this new self, this chalice, this cup of an elixir of life, the expression of life through you, like the candle of destiny, marking this delicious, vibrant, beautiful path, this new culture. And so going along with the magician here, we have number 6, listen. They're saying listen to the sound. Remember the silent lucidity, and they're saying the sound of silence. And you'll begin to pick up on that vibration. And strangely enough, they're saying it's low vibrational, and stop the stigma. It's not that typical ascension, descension, here's where you're at and what D you're in. No. This isn't in the key of D. They're saying this is in the key of A, and that is what they're talking about. But it's going down into that field beneath the earth, that thing that's very primal, very belly, very instinctive, which is why they're having that come in first. Very navel, very knowing. That hallmark of Saturn being in Aquarius and it bringing in this delicious tangerine energy, and you already haven't started to make the shift into what that was, thinking it was about you instead of recognizing it was you picking up on the footprint, the note, the pattern, the rhythm of this new age coming in. Not just Saturn in Aquarius for the period of time, but also that whole shift into the era of air, the 200 years in air. They're asking you to take hold of it and allow it to begin to infiltrate your mind and permeate your mindset and become familiar with its aroma. It's you're talking about your somatic senses. You're talking about your sensuality, which why that reproductive energy, your sensuality, the aligning of your eyes and becoming intimate with it. I would say, increasing in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, but those are very earthly. And so we kind of have a defined dictionary of what we think that is, and they're talking about a whole different key of life, a whole different level, which is why they said the key of A. That's funny. Because we've been in earth energy, which would be very much key of D, and now the dimensions, where now we're going into the A's, whatever that is. Ooh, that's a little nugget for us to chew on until they reveal more, right? But letting it reproduce through at least one generation in your mind before the time comes, which I think is maybe late December. Anyways, they're saying don't worry. We already see it on the horizon in November for you. But that's the value and the importance of where and how you're moving, and dropping down the resistance and the guard to this internal work, this internal knowing, and this journey with yourself of allowing that key of A, that system of air, to begin to reveal its imprint to you so that you can familiarize yourself with it. Okay, I would say I hope it's making sense, but I know it's making sense to you. Next comes in tulip, great passion. Like James Brown says, how you make me want to kiss myself. Not just once, but twice, baby. So good, you go back for more. You go back for more, and that means you've chosen it. It's not just like, let me consider this, let me check this out, let me see about this. You're like, okay, I'm going to take that home with me. This is mine. This is coming with me. And that's fantastic. We've got azure. We've got this radiance of the sun, calm, cool, collected, the blue going on in here. And that is your way. It says down here, protect yourself, number 36. But that's your way of getting in alignment with this new energy before it's already here, because Aquarius likes to be prepared. You like your P's and Q's, your dots and your tittles, your jots, all that. You like to have it all in order. You're almost like the cosmic lawyer, that type of person. So you want to be familiar with the material before the time comes. Just like anybody who tries out for a part, they like to become familiar with the script before they're called on stage. You're saying, so I don't look like a dumbass. Okay, you sassy pants. So yeah, don't look like a dumbass. Well, you're not one. But that is your type of wisdom that you were talking about over here, about who and how you are and how you operate, that familiarity. And that becomes a form of protection, and not like protection from shame. No, that helps you be prepared. They're showing me like in a baton relay. You're the one waiting in the box in that measure as it's beginning to make its way. That's you looking over your shoulder, getting prepared and getting ready to remember your rhythm of how the person that you're taking the leg of the race from, how their pattern and their rhythm and their speed of running and coming into that transition zone is, so that you're ready to take off with it and give you the most flawless re-entry, is what you're telling me. And it's for the sake of the team. It makes perfect sense. But that's why in practice you do it over and over and over again. And they're not constantly switching who's handing off to whom. No, you're in a set order in that relay of, you know, the 4 members on the team. This one hands to this one, hands to this one, hands to this one. So you're just looking to master how it's going to hand off from Kia D to Kia A, how it's going from earth to air, how it's going from this ripe, juicy, delicious energy into this calm, cool, collected, I got it. I'm confident with this. I feel good about it, because you remember you're the culture creator. You're the initiator of this, of how we all transition and move in it, because you'll already have a command and intimacy with it, an intimate knowledge of it. And that's what I love. It goes even through your perception, like the somatic. It moves on through there like those whales that have that that directionality in the mind, like a radar. Okay. Underneath it, we have the beetle, good fortune. And you're going to set us off on a good key, on a good note. You're like, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Tough on the outside, soft on the inside. I know how to survive, how to get about. That's why we've made it so long. Insects do not die out, you say. You said no matter what comes at us, we're able to keep going because we're so prolific. I like that. I like that, Aquarius. So underneath that, we have the 5 of chalices. And you're showing it between, it's in the Sexual Magic Tarot, which is why I'm peering at it and sharing it with you. You're between elements and between worlds. It's almost like there's a little bit of hesitancy here, like you're reconsidering something, because that offer, that earthy offer, is trying to come back and buy a little more time. But you've already shown here what kind of time frame you want to be on and how it's moving. So March to May, May to November, it's stretching it out a little bit. So it lets me know you could begin to see it above the horizon before November. That's up to you. But you have set this goal within yourself that by November, this energy is going to taper off here. That allowing the offer to even come into your presence anymore, of the old earth, of the way things were, of its bounty and provision, of how it's operated in and through you. Thus your success, because you're talking about money, success, fortune, tangible items now. So you're like, how do I make it in this new world? And it's not that like you're doing bad or wrong entertaining it, you know that. But there was that little bit of pause, that little bit of reconsideration, because it seemed to still look like you. It seemed to fit. It still seemed to be right. But this fountain quickly turns into a grave bed. Like a place when you lay down, it becomes a death. Almost like you forget that you decided that you committed to this new energy. So it's just a little bit of time. But it's up to you. What is it, like Groundhog's Day, that he kind of tries to confirm and make the mental note of this didn't work, that didn't work. Okay, tomorrow when I wake up, I'm going to do it like this. And he begins to be progressive and start to invest in himself and culture himself and begin to enjoy life now. Okay, so that is your breadcrumb trail. Begin to allow this enjoyment, this pleasure, this juiciness, this life to come in. And as it confirms itself in you, you're already transitioning, you're already changing, and this will just fade. It's going to fade out. It's going to recede off into the distance. Like it won't even be able to, I can't say keep step with you, but it's like it's going to be left on a past page of the calendar, like it won't be able to even step forth. Okay. So anyways, knowing that y'all are so progressive, for some of you it may come in before November. But that's if you're wanting to kind of put your elbow into it, which isn't necessary. Just saying, you've already decided here that November's the cap, that's when you're going to begin to see it. So kind of like around Halloween, when we close out one year and we start fresh and new. So alongside that, with the Magical Mystical Oracles, number 26, transformation. Look how pleased you are with yourself. and you're looking ahead, looking to the future. You see it. You have like this perpetual vitality, all season fruitfulness is what you're letting me know. So as that key of A, the air, the way it moves without resistance so flawlessly, that touches your heart, that makes it very easy to be you. And it brings out your color. It brings out your eye for detail. It brings, well, it harmonizes with you. I'm hearing it like the whole symphony, it all kicked on. And it's in the key of you. And it's just, yeah. And it's going along, oh, psst, hello. Okay, take it, sorry. It's the science part of me. The A and the U put together is the symbol for gold. So you're bringing in the golden era. Wow. Okay, so if you or anyone you know is born in the year 2000, that's the birth of the golden dragon, which would make sense. If you're bringing in 2021, that's when they start turning 21 of legal age. And forget it, so many people are distracted with, oh, I can legally drink. Oh, it is so much more, baby. So much more. When we look at it cosmically and energetically, it is the ripening of the fullness of that vine, of that fruit. Dang. Whoa. The golden era. You were born for this, baby. Whether you're born in 2000 or not, what you began to birth in 2000, what you began to bring forth in this new era, this new generation, this new millennium, is it the traction. It's like, it is a tractor. It's not even just a car. It is dropping into gear. And when that baby starts to move, man, the fields are ready. I am lit, y'all. I've got energy just rushing up through me, like the cells are awakening. They're saying like the harpsichord. I don't even understand. It's all like chinging and binging and ringing and chiming. Oh my. It's going to be musical. I love it, Aquarius. This is fantastic. Well, here's till next time. Bye.